What's up, everybody? We're back with day number there, and I was up on Facebook, and a CMC friend of mine, right? He posted like they're on the way home from deployment also, right? I won't say what ship he's on, just in case he wants some kind of confidentiality or something. But he posted like their end of deployment wrap up, right? Where you do like how many miles you've traveled, how many gallons of fuel, and let me see if I can bring it up. I don't know. I wasn't ready. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but let me see if I can. And so I read it, and it was amazing, right? Let's start with miles traveled, right? So he's somewhere around like 55, 58,000 nautical miles traveled. Okay. That's amazing, right? Like, holy shit, right? In comparison, mighty Oakland, second leg deployment, we've only been on 2 deployments this year, right? He's been on 1 deployment that has lasted as long as about both of our deployments. He's been gone about 9 months. It's some 200 and something days for him, right? So all combined, we've both been underway just about the same amount as time this year, right? Away from loved one. And we've traveled this from September 14th, right, when we came out here, or we went to Japan, took the ship, to right now, we've traveled 11,814. Oakland has, right? And the Facebook's not going to work right now with interwebs. So his deployment travel date, like miles traveled so far, was somewhere around like 55,000, I said, 58,000 nautical miles, right? What was that 6 times, 5 times more than what we've done. Okay, 5 times more. We've gone from Japan to Guam, Guam all the way down to Sydney, Sydney back up to Guam, and now Guam all the way across the Pacific back to San Diego. And he's done 5 times more than that, from Mayport over into the Med, in and out of Med. It had how many straits transits, like all the straits they've gone through and how many times they went through them, right? The canal, like Hormuz, Straits of Hormuz, Suez Canal, how many times? Like, amazing work. The something, I forget, like a 10 million gallons worth of fuel. 10 million gallons. Crazy. Us, we've done, I don't know, maybe 1 million, 2 million or something. Like all together for the whole deployment, maybe less than 5 million easily, right? Small ass tanks. So we fill up the tank, maybe 130, 150 at absolute zero. But you're never at zero, right? So we're always taking around 100K gallons, right? Again, just like 5 times as much fuel, 5 times as much distance traveled. Casualties, it was funny, he had like 60 something casualties. I was like, I bet we have as many casualties as they do, and they've gone 5 times as far as us, right? Gallons of ice cream served was like 700 gallons of ice cream served. Like, holy shit, like their S2 department, shout out Supply, like just fucking pumping out fucking ice cream socials and fucking ice cream with dinner. Awesome, great, go for it. Not me, I don't care. A bunch of fat bodies anyway. We don't need it. I don't need it. I know that, even though I had some last night, right? It was amazing, right? It was amazing to look at the work that a U.S. destroyer does on such a long deployment, right? Again, a little bit longer than usual, right? World events happen and they got involved in it. And them being involved in it also is resulting in their being awarded a combat action ribbon for some of the stuff they did, right? Which kind of narrows it down to one of the ships they may be on. But so I brought my sailor in here, I brought my LS2, and I showed him. I was like, hey man, check this out. Like, because he's wanted to go to a destroyer, and unfortunately he wanted a destroyer in San Diego because staying in San Diego was his primary objective, right? It didn't work out for him. He got extended on board. Sucks to suck sometimes. It's just the way that cookie crumbled for him. But I always told him, like, go to a destroyer because, like, that's a warship. That's a real, like, I fucking love my time that I was on board Russell out of Pearl Harbor. Like, it was great. And I showed him, I was like, look at this list. It's just laundry list. Like, 40-something sailors ESWAS qualified. They gave out 160 earned NAMs to sailors, right? Some of those NAMs I have with the C device for combat. Probably some of their people that were in combat, FCs, GMs, OSs maybe, right? That maybe some officers and chiefs in there that were fucking, shooting shit down, making the calls, tracking shit, detect, engage, right? Like, getting after it. Fucking combat action ribbons for a fucking ship, right? And I was just like, look at that shit, man. Like, this is fucking, like, this is work, man. This is them getting after it. This is real fucking work. When I say God's work, I fucking hate when people say that. I'll come back to that on another one maybe. But, like, this is real work that they're doing. Whether you support it or not, whether however your feelings are. And I have strong feelings about everything that's going on over there, right? But, like, when it comes down to, like, really it's kind of like self-preservation, right? Like, if you have shit coming in at you or you think you do not want to waste any time or wait around to find out if it's going to hit you before you can take it out, right? Missiles, drones, whatever. So, yeah, in any situation, I don't care what the fuck it is, right? I want to shoot first and ask questions last, right? And they could fall to the fucking earth and sink in the ocean, and I could go home to my family, right? And that's what those sailors did on board that ship, and it's fucking awesome, man. Just like, again, reading through it, and I was just showing my sailor, like, look at this shit, man, like, pointing out the highlights of this. I was like, ESWAS, right? Look at this, there's like 42, 45, 40-something sailors ESWAS qualified. I was like, just think about, like, how many junior sailors that is, like E5s and junior. Like, for us, that's more than half of our crew, a little bit more than half of our 70 ships company, right? And he was like, fuck, like, that's a lot. I was like, meanwhile, Oakland over here, two. Some of you might sit there and like, well, that's your fault, Chief. You're not. Stop, save it, shove it up your ass, okay? It's not my fault, all right? I'm fucking there on Sunday morning giving whatever sailor wants fucking training and comes to me and seeks it, right? Seek and you shall find. Knocking the door shall fucking be open, okay? I'm there. Sailor comes to me and asks for it, I'm fucking there. I fucking schedule it with them. I'm there, right? It shows the difference between some crews, junior sailors, and other crews, junior sailors. Does that mean our junior sailors are bad? No, not at all. We got some great junior, like, E4 and below sailors. But no intention of staying in, little intention of staying in. A lot of sonar techs that got burned by this LCS program don't want to fucking do it anymore. Don't want to go to another platform to learn sonar, right? We got SCG3 over here that's fucking got more engineering quals than anything combat systems related or anything else, right? And he's going to be of no use when he goes to his next ship, right? At least if he was like deckhand qualifications and stuff, at least he could, do the mooring lines. He could do a lookout. Like, he knows those things, but nothing. He's oil queen. Like that's what he is, right? And it's just, there's going to be no use where he goes next. But anyway, I digress. There's just a comparison of, like, showing my sailor, like, this is a warship that is on deployment, that has work to do, right? As I always tell them, like, hey, the work has to get done. The work has to get done. As I tell all the sailors, right? Like, if you're not thinking about the work that needs to be done for tomorrow and planning it today and working towards it and chopping in that list down one item at a time, what are you doing, right? If you're more concerned with your fucking collaterals and getting letters of designations and bullshit because someone's teaching you that there's boxes that need to be checked and this is how you do it, fuck off. There's real work that can be done every day, underway, in port. And the question is if you're getting it done or not. Are you putting forth the effort to get it done? Are you projecting to know what's coming up, what work is coming, and are you getting it? Like, that's my whole, like, that's what I just try to instill in this young sailor, right? It's like, there is work. It will be done. You will do it. Because if not you, goes back to that thing, like, if not you, then who? And if you sit there and be like, someone else, then it's not the job for you, man. It's not, this isn't it, right? It might be the job for you, right? We need mediocreness. There's plenty of mediocrity in the wardroom, in the mess, and the mess decks. Like, it's all around. And it always fails up. That's half the fucking problem, right? So I was just showing them, like, look at when you're on a warship and you have warship shit to do. I was like, you think these sailors are over there fucking complaining about, just fucking the Liberty plans? And maybe every sailor's gonna bitch and complain, but, like, they're too busy fucking being combat ready, right? They're too busy running the drills, just doing that work, boy, just getting after it. And it just made me so happy. It kind of like gave me that little bit of like, it reminded me of what I used to like about the Navy, right? It reminded me about like, fuck, when you're on a real warship, that you are that busy that you ain't got time to fucking sit around and make up shit and complain about dumb stuff and bitch and moan. Like, sure, there's gonna be your regular everyday shit, bitching and moaning, right? You're gonna be tired, this and that. But when you're really on mission and you're really getting after it, it's awesome, you know. And so, you know, shout out to that CMC over there. Is it all his doing? Of course not, right? It's the doing of all the leaders and the sailors that are fucking bought in to be great, and they're doing great things, you know. So, yeah, like I just think it's fucking awesome. Like I showed him, he's like, holy shit! Like it was like 755 gallons of paint issued. That was a funny one, right? Man, they didn't even get to like the hamburgers and hot dogs served or anything like that. That sucked. A little bit more shout outs to supply there, but yeah, I don't know. It just sparked something in me from a long time ago, and I thought I'd share a little bit of it. You know, share it with my sailor, and then just share it with y'all here. You know, this white shirt. Check out this white shirt. This is a really good. Check out that collar, right? This is the new Sophie shirt that I got at the exchange in Guam. This shit is nice. Yo, Sophie came up like it got a little bit of weight to it. It's not that thin shit. Good collar, circular, gonna stay up on the neck. Good job. Not an ad. Excuse me. But fucking yo, the new Sophie shirts, get them at the exchange. They busting. They good. They nice. 24 hours out. Can't wait. See what happens. What else? I was gonna talk about something else. I think that's it. I just want to share that little bit of nostalgia that hit for me when it came to like that DDG warship life, and reading down that memory lane of what ships really do out at sea, because this ain't it on board LCS. I'm gonna tell you, like we've done some cool things. Again, it's like I knock it, but I knock it in comparison to, right? It's kind of like I'm always looking off and shit because I'm thinking, you know, there's your all-time greats, right? Jordans,